Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Pretty Bad Patty and we are going to do some men stitch braids. So let's just jump right into it. So basically I'm doing a crisscross style and I'm going to start the first braid. I'm going to explain the parting and everything. But I use a comb for the perfect stitch on the right side, and I use my pinky or index finger for the left side, and I'll explain why. That's just my technique. I know some people use their combs, but simply my explanation is just my nails are just not that long. But the key when you're using the end of a tail comb is to glide the comb through the hair, not stab your client with the comb, or the comb doesn't even really hit their scalp. So I'm finishing up this first braid and then I'm starting the second braid. So pretty much that's how you get a seamless stitch. I've been stitching for about 5 years, but I've been braiding since I was 6, and I'm in an auntie club, so we ain't gonna talk about how old I am. But when you're learning how to braid, it's not gonna be perfect, okay? So do not be hard on yourself. But here it is. You just part the next section into 2 first, and then I always take some gel and go down the part for that perfect seamless part, and then I'm gonna break the 2 into 4, and you'll see what I mean, because I'll literally just show you right now. I'm perfecting my part, then we're gonna section off the first part, and then we're gonna part it across. So make sure your parts align with the parts in the first braid section, and then you always just make your parts just match. So first I add gel to the sides of the braids, so when I take the end of the comb, it'll just glide straight across seamlessly. So you'll just watch me braid this part, and yeah. You'll pretty much see how the comb, I'm not doing anything to the scalp. I'm literally just parting the hair with the end of the comb and going straight across. So it's literally from end to end. And if you ever, like, you see how I just took my finger and straightened it out a little bit? So that's how you make sure that it's even on both sides. This is the part where I get a little tricky, because you're going to crisscross over to the other side. So I start angling the braid towards the direction that I'm going in. So when I go over to the other side, I just part the first top part out, and I just start the braid at the tip so that it'll seamlessly go across and still be attached to the head. So I start at the base of the parting section towards the right and just braid straight across, if that makes sense. So that part, so you can't just pick that part of the braid up, it's still a scalp braid. And then I just proceed with the stitching. During this part, I would definitely say grip is very important, because if you lose your grip, you'll have to start that part over. But it's actually a seamless transition from one side to the next, as long as you follow the directions with just braiding straight across on that first section when you get to the second part. I'm hoping that you guys understand what I'm saying, but pretty much that's how you get that crisscross effect with the braid still being to the scalp. During the braiding process, I find it easier to add the gel to the base of the hair as I braid, because sometimes you just might miss a part or it just needs more product. just so that it'll be easier for you to grip it and for me with the comb to glide it. But I would assume that it makes it easier when you use your nails as well, if that's how you stitch. I am making this voiceover to this video and I'm like, man, these braids is cold, baby. I done came a long way. And with the tension from the braids that you already have done, you'll see if your parts are straight. So sometimes you just have to go over it just to verify that your parts are straight. So that's why I'm just like moving the hair around, making sure that everything is even. And then I'm going to start my braiding process. So I start with the small piece at the top. And of course, that's parted straight to be even with the other side. And then I proceed to stitch. You see how I take my left hand and make sure that that section is parted correctly and parted straight across. That's pretty much what I do throughout the whole process if need be. But for the most part, if you take the comb and glide it correctly, or your nail, and just glide it correctly across the whole section of the hair when you're making a stitch braid, you won't you won't have to go back and fix it. And I'm not re-recording this voiceover, so it's just gonna have to have that mistake. But you want to go back and fix it, and sometimes you may pick up other pieces of hair. For the most part, to avoid that, like I just did, I just put gel on it so that that hair in that section will stay over there instead of using like a ton of clips. Say if you guys have any suggestions or styles that you want me to do, please drop them in the comments, because I am a jack of all trades. I pretty much do all styles. But I do have a viral invisible lock video that's circling around and people using my video for their YouTube, but I have the full video, so I can go ahead and post that as well. Or anything that you guys want me to do. I do kids hair. It's limitless. So if you guys want to see a style, please drop it in the comments. Get closer to the crisscross section. Make sure your grip at the end of this braid section is not too much tension that it hurts the client, but make sure you have a good grip. And then I'm going to section the top part of that braid out, as you can see. And then I'm going to make sure that the braid stays to the scalp. So I just transition my braid over. See, I lost my grip right there. Prime example of how you could. But I'm starting the braid from the tip of the second section. And I'm just braiding it over so that the braid stays to the scalp. That is so important when you're doing these braids, because you don't want to be able to just take that section where it's crisscrossing and lift it up. So once you cross over to the other side, this is the second to the last section. You just pretty much want to do the same thing, just to the other side. Don't let it intimidate you that it's the other side of the head. It's literally the same pattern. You're just doing it on the opposite side of the head. And as you finish off the braid, you just want to keep your consistency throughout the whole braid. And bam, this is my ending result. It's super neat. And there we are.